Hello, my friends, Liberty Garden, and I'm back at the garden. Didn't go to the farm today. I was feeling a little tired and not in very good spirits, so I did not go to the farm. And today I went to the store, got some treated lumber, and made a little raised bed. This is the same place where I had my other raised beds, except that the orientation, I changed the orientation. So now the orientation is it's east to west, that being the east, and before they were north to south, that being the north, and this being the south. And I planted it. I just got the soil, the same soil that I had before, which is real good. I'm finding a lot of worms in it, and I just dropped in there some cover crop buckwheat. And what this does is fixes nitrogen into the soil, and come out, and it'll come out early, and then it'll go to flower, and then you just turn it over with a fork, and you're putting in a lot of. It's just like it's like a fertilizer. You're adding a lot of nitrogen to your soil in a very natural way. So that's what I did. Why did I change the orientation of the bed? That's primarily because these trees here were casting a shade on my beds that were going all the way out to over there. So I wasn't really making use of that side of the beds anymore because they were being shaded out. So I changed it to this. So this one will get good sun here. What else? I have and this one I have is just an 8x4. When you do a raised bed, try to do it 8x4 only if you have access from all sides to the bed, because otherwise it's real hard to reach across 4 feet. If you only have access from one side of the bed, like let's say you're doing like against a wall or something like that, keep it to 30 inches, no more than 3 feet. That's as far as your arm can reach, basically. What else? I need to clean this up here, but I just thought I'd show you this. I got that little bed against the wall. I'll probably put some okra there. They like the heat, so okra does well there. And they're not very thirsty, so I don't have to put a lot of water near to my foundation. And I have the keyhole garden here that I need to really turn it. I'll probably put some cover crop here also just to add nitrogen to the soil. And I got to turn all those weeds and stuff that are coming out there. And I got 2 more little beds here, mustard and chard, and they're all weedy and stuff also. I got some cilantro there where the dog is. She's eating grass. And I got this little bed here. Now, this bed is right in the shade. Now, why do I keep this little bed here in the shade? Well, there are some crops that like shade. For example, the patty pan squash and the summer squashes, they do great in this little bed. And I think this is an observation of mine. It may or may not be true, but the bigger the leaf on a plant, like the Swiss chard or the summer squashes, I think they are a little more tolerant to the sun because they have a lot of surface area for photosynthesis to absorb sun rays. So they're shade tolerant. As a matter of fact, I think they welcome a little shade because I see the squash in the Texas summer, they wilt throughout most of the day. They're basically bringing down their leaves so that they don't get so much sun in them. And then by the late afternoon, by the evening, they're back to expanding their leaves. So keeping them in some shade, maybe they get early sun and midday sun, and then after that they start getting some partial shade. That's a good thing. And that's primarily why I did that. Now, this bed is 8 foot by 10-inch board, and I like 10 inches because it's ideal for root crops. You can grow potatoes, you can grow beets, carrots, whatever you want to grow here. It'll grow just fine, and it's not too tall. Like I had 20-inch beds before, and I would find that seedlings would die sometimes because, especially during the dry periods, because the top 3 inches of the bed get real dry very fast because they're so far from the soil, so they would die fast, and I had to be on top of them. Now with that 10-inch bed, which is what I started with before, when I first started back in '08, I had these beds and they were extremely productive. And I've come to realize that when they're not so high, even seedlings can take moisture from the ground because the moisture always tries to evaporate up. So it'll get to 10 inches very fast. And the seedlings are able to get that. The little root of the seedlings are able to get that. Whereas if it's a 20-inch bed or a 24-inch bed, the evaporation stays in the soil but never gets near close to the seedlings. So taller beds are good for look at that dog trying to take a root out. Taller beds are good for transplanting plants with established root systems. But if you're going to plant directly, sow directly into the soil, I think a bed like a 10-inch, 8-inch is good. 6 inches is good. The only reason I have 10 inches here is because I'm on clay soil and the clay soil is real tough. So I just like it for 10 for root crops. But if you're in real soft soil, I mean a 6-inch bed would be just fine also. But I mean, like that one in the corner, that's a 6-inch bed cedar, and those are also 6 inches over there. But that soil is extremely soft by now. Uh, so that's all, folks. Right now, I have here some. I've been eating this stuff throughout winter. Arugula, perennial, awesome. Just I mean, just just add that to your salads, and you'll notice a difference. And I got more here, and some kale, and a few more greens here, mustards and spinaches, and who knows what else. Beets, I think, is the beet in there. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching, and until next time.